365 days of the unprecedented, inhuman military siege and communications blockade in India's illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir since 5th August 2019. 8 million Kashmiris have been made prisoners in their own homes. To express solidarity with our Kashmiri brethren, the entire Pakistani nation observed Yawm-e-Istehsal yesterday. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi led a huge rally from the Foreign Office, which was joined by Senate Chairman, the Minister for Kashmir Affairs, Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Chairman Kashmir Committee, the Special Assistant to Prime Minister on National Security, parliamentarians and senior government officials. President of Pakistan, Dr. Arif Alvi, addressed the rally and expressed in unequivocal terms the solidarity of the Pakistani nation with the Kashmir cause and our abiding commitment to the people of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Imran Khan addressed the Assembly of Azad Jammu and Kashmir in Muzaffarabad and expressed solidarity with the innocent Kashmiri people on Yawm-e-Istehsal. The Prime Minister also announced that eminent Hurriyat leader Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani would be conferred with Nishan-e-Pakistan on 14th August for his bravery and his continued struggle for the Jammu and Kashmir cause. In his message on Yawm-e-Istehsal, Foreign Minister Qureshi underlined that the international community must do more and back its words with concrete action for the innocent Kashmiri people who have been subjected to arbitrary arrests, detentions, torture, corporal punishment, extrajudicial killings, digital lockdown, and a military siege in the occupied Jammu and Kashmir. For a large part of the global population to continue to have faith in international justice, it is imperative that India is held accountable for its unconscionable actions since 5th August 2019. Yesterday, on Pakistan's request, the UN Security Council, in its meeting, discussed the situation of Jammu and Kashmir for the third time in 1 year. The Security Council reaffirmed the validity of its resolutions, that the final disposition of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute will be made through a free, fair, and impartial plebiscite under the auspices of the United Nations. The UN Secretariat and UNMOGIP representatives briefed the Council members on the current situation in the occupied Jammu and Kashmir and confirmed that the overall situation remains tense. Human rights concerns were also expressed, particularly with regard to India's continued oppression, as well as its attempts to change the demography of the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The need to strengthen UNMOGIP, which is facing challenges due to India's non-cooperation, was also underscored. We are grateful to all the members of the Security Council, and especially China, for their support in organizing the meeting in UNSC. The fact that on 3 occasions in 1 year, the Jammu and Kashmir issue has been discussed in the Security Council completely negates the failed Indian assertion that it is an internal matter of India. On Yawm-e-Istehsal yesterday, voices in support of the Kashmiri people rang across the globe, marking 1 year of the illegal action by India and the continued brutalization and disenfranchisement of the Kashmiri people. China, in its statement, underscored that Jammu and Kashmir is a dispute left over from history between Pakistan and India, and that was an objective fact established by the UN. The UN Security Council resolutions and bilateral agreements between Pakistan and India. Any unilateral change to the status quo is illegal and invalid, unquote. Turkey also reiterated that the dispute of Jammu and Kashmir should be resolved through dialogue within the framework of the UN Charter and the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. The OIC, in its statement, urged once again for abstention from changing the demographic composition of Jammu and Kashmir and reaffirmed its solidarity with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. OIC Human Rights Commission, in its statement yesterday, strongly condemned the year-long inhuman security and communications blockade by the Indian security forces and called upon India to ensure the protection of the human rights and fundamental freedoms of the Kashmiri people. The UN human rights experts also called for an urgent action to remedy the alarming human rights situation in Jammu and Kashmir and stated that, I quote, "If India will not take any genuine and immediate steps to resolve the situation, meet their obligations to investigate historic and recent cases of human rights violations and prevent future violations, then the international community should step up," unquote. The Human Rights Watch, in its statement yesterday, also underlined that India's unwarranted restraints on the right to free speech, access to information, healthcare, and education, which have been intensified by the COVID-19 pandemic. Separately, protests and rallies were held in London, Paris, Lisbon, Brussels, Houston, Athens, Oslo, Copenhagen, and many other cities of the world, while seminars, exhibitions, and other activities were held to mark 1 year of brutalization of the Kashmiri people and the illegal action in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Also, in addition to these human rights violations and abuses meted out to Kashmiri men, women, and children as a result of the continued oppression by the Indian security forces, was the subject of scores of articles and op-eds in the international media across the world. On 4th August, Pakistan issued a political map depicting our long-standing and consistent position on Jammu and Kashmir, anchored in the Security Council resolutions and stipulating that the accession of the state will be through a UN-supervised plebiscite. Pakistan's political map firmly rejects the political map issued by India after 5th August 2019 that made false territorial claims, including on Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Pakistan has categorically rejected the statement made by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs on Pakistan's political map. India cannot create a smokescreen for its illegal and unacceptable actions in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, including those taken since 5th August 2019. It is preposterous for a country that is compulsively expansionist and a brazen practitioner of state terrorism to level charges against others. Pakistan has also once again reiterated its strong condemnation of the construction of the Ram Mandir on the site where the historic Babri Masjid stood for over 500 years. The flawed judgment of the Indian Supreme Court, paving the way for construction of the temple, not only reflected the preponderance of faith over justice, but also the growing majoritarianism in today's India, where minorities, particularly Muslims, and their places of worship are increasingly under attack. Separately, the government of Pakistan and the people of Pakistan extend our deep condolences to the government and people of Lebanon over the loss of precious lives in the explosion that took place in Beirut the day before. And we pray for the innocent lives lost in the blast and for a speedy and full recovery of those injured. Our Prime Minister and Foreign Minister have expressed their grief and sorrow over the loss of precious lives in Beirut and conveyed their deep condolences. Our leadership has also expressed solidarity with our Lebanese brethren in this difficult time. During this explosion, a Pakistani family living near the port of Beirut was also severely affected and injured, and a teenage boy in the family also expired. His father and sister are also in critical condition. Another Pakistani family, we have been informed, is also affected. However, they have been accommodated in hotel as their apartment was demolished due to the explosion. The Pakistan Embassy in Beirut has quickly responded to the situation and reached out to the families affected. We have shared the emergency contact numbers of our mission in Beirut on our official Twitter handle also, and any Pakistanis who are known to be in the area and are in need of assistance from the mission are requested to kindly reach out and make contact so that assistance can be provided to them. I thank you. We will take some question and answers now.